Here we go.
Inside the 20, touchdown!
You can't win!
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Sound insane.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
I told you and I told you. Touchdown.
Man, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
You surprised me. I thought you were going to be awful, but you were dreadful.
Championship.
Welcome back to another edition of the Two Bald A-Holes. I am Brian Hill, joined as always by Jimmy the Wop.
Jimmy the Wop is here.
How are you, sir?
How are you, sir? Hawaii. Oh, in Hawaii? God damn it, Bill. I'm supposed to be in California.
I'm doing great. Yeah. We just had an enlightening hour conversation that I wish was on film. But
We did. We got started filming a little late tonight because we talk politics.
we talk politics, right.
We found ourselves wondering, do the people want to hear the two bald a-holes talk about politics?
I'm going to say half he is, too.
I mean, the fact that most of them don't want to hear us talk about football or fantasy football.
This guy should not be president, period.
And when you say that, folks on Fox come after you. I remember the Tonys when you got up there and cursed. A lot of criticism of you.
Fuck them.
Okay, well, you know, this is cable,
Sorry.
so it's not an FCC violation, but it is still a Sunday morning.
I don't
Most
like
of them are questioning life
but-
choices while they're watching us right now.
Yeah, yeah, but you know, it's worth exploring.
Yeah, we're going to explore it because that was an hour of pure excitement.
We felt it was.
Yeah, it went by. That hour went by pretty quick. We should have had it on film.
Right. I mean, and if you know, sometimes the best entertainment is when you're entertaining yourself.
I find that to be the case quite often.
What's that sound?
Oh, that's me. I'm just masturbating.
What? Why?
This is how I go to sleep.
Oh, don't. Come on, dude. I'm right here next to you.
Just shut your eyes, Peter.
How long is this going to take?
Well, you know, if you keep interrupting me, it's going to take a little bit longer, but it usually just takes me about 35 minutes.
Is that all? Your fucking dog's doing it, too.
Sonny, stop.
All right, so hey, let's get right into some football, huh?
Let's do it.
We had
Week 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say we had an NFL Week 4 take place, and this is exciting news. We're filming this on a Tuesday evening, and we made this choice just to make sure that we could bring our people, the Bald Army, our viewers, all prior week action, right?
Yeah, including the Bengals, which is exciting.
Including the right, exactly.
Yeah, I actually switched my date night. My wife and I have a Tuesday night date night, which is like in stone. And I said to her, babe, we got to switch it, you know, two bald a-holes, takes precedence. And she just looked at me like, she's like, yeah, I don't know. Right. Why don't you do it every night?
You said, honey, anyway, I promise you we can switch it to the next night. She's like, no, it's not really.
Yeah, why don't you just leave me alone, leave me and the dogs alone.
You get a horse and live in the mountains someplace and don't bother anybody.
It's not really a big deal. Yeah. All right, so what we're going to be doing today then on this episode, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be making some bald predictions.
Bald predictions.
We're going to be answering some balding questions. and
Rogaine or no Rogaine?
And make some bald predictions. You know, look, after 4 weeks, we did this because we took a look at the landscape of the NFL and just some of these divisions and how tough it is to try to figure out, you know, which of these teams are real and what maybe, you know, is going to be the case going forward. So we wanted to look at that. And then, of course, from a fantasy perspective, we wanted to take a look at some of these teams and their fantasy players. So we're going to try to blend them both and answer some balding questions on not just real football, but also, of course, the fantasy implications that come along with it. So, with that said, are you ready to start answering?
I'm always ready for your questions. I don't know if I'll be able to answer them very well.
Are you ready to make some balding predictions?
I am so ready.
All right.
You fixed me up with a bald woman. Bald? Yeah, that's right.
Listen, I've got a first balding question right off the bat. One word. In one word, I want you to tell me how you would describe a fantasy manager who made the choice to start Andy Dalton over Jameis Winston this week.
Bum.
Bummed.
Or wop. Wow. Yeah, what a disastrous decision that was.
I apologize for catching you off guard on that one.
Yeah, bum.
Listen, if we can't critique ourselves,
I'm trying to justify it. I mean, I was like, you know what? I'd like to have a Monday night quarterback. The Steelers aren't all that great. Bengals are throwing the ball pretty well this year. Winston's going into L.A. He's not going to do shit there.
That makes sense to me.
Wow, was I wrong.
Yeah, I got to tell you.
Wow, was I wrong.
I'm stupid. You're smart. I was wrong. You were right. You're the best. I'm the worst. You're very good looking. I'm not attractive.
I wanted to highlight that because you weren't the only one. We had Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank made the same decision.
He did the same thing?
Well, it wasn't Dalton, but I believe he started somebody over Winston or... and then you also...
he started the guy from Carolina, I think.
Yeah, Kyle Allen.
Yeah, that was worse. I mean...
Ow! Oh! What?
You just started Kyle Allen, man.
Whoa. Oh my God. Oh my God, I did. Is this bad? Is this bad?
And that was worse, actually. Yes.
That?
Hey, Frank the Tank, congratulations.
Yeah, that was bad.
I
mean, Andy Dalton, I mean, he's been pretty respectable.
Yeah, absolutely. He had been putting up points and
prime time. Then I looked into it a little bit more as I got to the night, and they said he's always bad in Pittsburgh and he stinks against the Steelers. But I just didn't see Winston in LA traveling across the whole country to the West Coast, playing them in that ferocious defense with Donald, and I just didn't see it. And man, now it's Winston. I mean, if you have Winston, you got to love these last 2 weeks. I mean, Arians' offense is kicking in. Ronald Jones is running the ball well. I mean, they are ferocious all of a sudden.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that. I mean, so is that what's happening? Is that you feel that's what's happening in Tampa Bay? Is that the Arians and what we expected him to be able to do with that offense, with that talent? I mean, Godwin, Evans. I mean, Howard hasn't gotten going yet, but yeah, absolutely. So you think it's real, huh? I mean,
I think it's real. I mean, he threw a pick six at the end of the game. He showed that he's still Winston in a certain capacity, but I mean, the game was not quite out of reach. He actually brought them back within like 5 points. But listen, man, the guy went off for 2 weeks in a row now, and that was a great defense that he did it against, and he went across the country and played it. It's a tough thing to do. So, yeah, I think you got to be excited about Winston. He's a QB1 the rest of the way with a high ceiling.
This might sound like a crazy question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. I mean, who are you more excited about, Mike Evans or Chris Godwin?
I think Chris Godwin, consistency-wise, I think he's going to have like a higher floor. I think they're both going to have a pretty high ceiling, but obviously Evans showed 200 yards and 3 touchdowns just because of his size, and he's just a monstrous receiver. But I think he's going to have his duds sometimes, whereas Godwin, I think, is the safety valve. And I think Godwin's the guy you want.
Mike Evans, listen, I mean, he caught the touchdown, 60-something yards to bail him, essentially bail him out of what could have been a really, down game after his huge game against the Giants. And that was just a straight blown coverage.
100%. Right.
So that wasn't Evans just making a great play
all day long,
like
catch after catch after catch after catch. And they scored 55 points. And if it wasn't for one play, Evans has a dud. It's not like anybody else did anything. Howard didn't do all, So, yeah, I think they're for real. I think that if you have Winston, you got to be really happy right now.
Well, absolutely. And, I actually brought that up mainly because, I think it was a fresh, reminder, a bucket of cold water into the faces of fantasy, of all of us, fantasy players. That just when we think we have something figured out, just when we're ready to say that, this guy is officially a bust, you have to. Robert Woods is another example. I mean, you had to put him on your bench this week if you had some kind of better option, just due to the fact he had done nothing.
Yep.
There's no reason to roll him out and say, well, I took a loss this week because I kept going with the guy who had done nothing for 3 weeks.
I know he used to do shit for you, but what has he done for you lately?
And then, of course, what does he do? He goes out, has a huge...
Yeah, Tampa's defense has been decent. In the same league, I benched, Winston, I benched him. I benched Woods for Juju and Boyd. And Juju and Boyd did nothing. I mean, nothing. Juju had 3 catches for 15 yards.
Horrible.
Yeah, we're gonna find some time to talk about Juju and the Steelers' offense. That was some an interesting game last night. It was boring. It wasn't, but obviously I think with the Pittsburgh running backs and then, Deontay Johnson and Juju. So there's certainly some things to talk about. And obviously as we break down the divisions a little bit, I think we'll find some time to get into them. But absolutely. I think what this tells us is that next week, like, Sony Michel is going to have 180 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs will, probably blow.
There was like,
it's like clockwork. The minute you're done with a guy and you bench him.
The Ravens were at home against the Browns and lose. The Rams are at home against Tampa and lose.
Right.
Kansas City should have lost. Carry-on had the touchdown. All of a sudden, somehow there was a fumble, and nobody really thought it was a fumble, including the guy that was jogging 100 yards the other way.
Right.
And all of a sudden, the game shifted. Otherwise, Chiefs lose. Patriots should have lost. Buffalo had that game, and all of a sudden, Josh Allen gets knocked out. They still almost won that game. So we could have almost had New England, the Rams, the Ravens, and the Chiefs all lose.
Well, and I think, in what was it? I think something like there's only 1 or 2 home teams that won this past week. It was a very wacky
it was a
week.
wacky week. Survivor pools are in disarray. I knocked out 2 with the Rams and the Ravens. Just a crazy week of betting. The teasers got smoked this week. You thought you had all these safe teasers, and they just went to shit. It's
almost like, right, the NFL likes to remind us from time to time that we know nothing.
You keep that in mind. The moment you think you got it figured, you're wrong.
Yeah. All we know is that Miami stinks. But other than that, we don't know anything else. Right.
We can always
just
for the
fall
rest
back
of the
on that.
season, right? We should be able to rely on that.
You're bald!
No, I'm not. I was bald. Well, hey.
So I have a question for you. The following wide receivers are currently outside of the top 20. DeAndre Hopkins, Robert Woods, Odell Beckham Jr., also known as OBJ, also known as
Old dirty
ODB,
bastard.
as ODB.
Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw.
And Adam Thielen. So, question is, which one of those 4 will finish outside of the top 20?
Adam Thielen.
I was worried I made this too easy for
Adam freaking Thielen.
It's too easy. No. That shit is too easy. It's too easy. No. That shit is too easy.
And Stephon Diggs are useless to fantasy. Good luck trying to figure out when Diggs is going to have a game. He finally
totally went and redeemed himself.
He had a decent game. And then the week before that, it's Thielen. And then it's neither one. And now they're playing the Giants, and they're saying they can throw. Yeah, guess what else you could do? You could run. Right. So what? Why would Zimmer? He's not going to listen to the pundits that are like, oh, you got to throw the ball. He's not going to give a shit that Thielen's giving him crap saying we got to be able to throw. He's going to do what he's going to do.
What are you going to do today, Napoleon?
Whatever I feel like I want to do. God.
He fired people to do what he's doing.
Right.
It's not like, how bad are they doing right now? Are they like 0-3? They're running the ball. They're listen, I have a problem with Cousins. I think Cousins is a really mediocre talent. And I think that they I really
feel like
don't think
that should be
Cousins is
impolite.
that good.
I think Cousins is a bum.
Yeah. Bum. Yeah, okay, fine, definitely. Yeah. I didn't want to be rude because me, I'm very politically correct.
He's a bum.
When he's on the field, he doesn't have a brain. Go away, you're finished. Stop dressing like a moron. How to be a spoiled brat millennial. Looks like a child molester. The worst fans in football, by the way. The absolute most despicable idiot. Our league has like 3 or 4 idiots. He's got to retire. Cam's got to retire. Eli's got to retire. You know who the NFL's whore is? Who? Adam Schefter. That's his middle name joke. They're basically unreliable. They're useless. Don't even listen to him. He's terrible. So I asked my buddy this over the weekend. We were watching the game. I said, would you rather have, he's a Vikings fan, Cousins or Flacco? He goes, really? Flacco. He goes, in a heartbeat. I thought about it. I said, you know what? I'd rather have Flacco too. Flacco's got a big arm. He doesn't make mistakes. This guy, Cousins, I don't know what his deal is, man. I I think they gave him $30 million, and it was the worst $30 million ever spent. Then you got guys like Minshew and all these different guys that are playing well.
I think he capitalized on a big season.
He really did.
Stephon Diggs didn't get a touchdown, right?
No.
Yeah. So we're sitting here celebrating Stephon Diggs redeeming himself. He had 7 for what, 108?
Well, yeah, 114 or something.
So
yeah, I mean, he had a decent game, but it wasn't. And do you think that you're going to rely on him to do that again and again?
After 3 weeks, we deserved a lot more than that.
And
you know
Thielen
what I mean?
had nothing. He had like nothing. 1 catch or 2 catches for like 7 yards.
Tried to tell the people, sell.
We said it. Sell. Thielen, sell Diggs. Now that Diggs had a big game, sell. This is perfect because people like Diggs. He's a big name. He went in like the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. He was a top receiver. He has been for years. Sell. He had a big, almost 20 points in PPR. Sell. That's the advice.
Brad, show him how it's done. Boom. Sell me that pen. Watch. Go on.
Let me sell this fucking pen.
That's my boy right there.
This pen.
Fucking sell anything.
Why don't you do me a favor? Write your name down on that napkin for me?
I don't have a pen.
Exactly. Supply and demand, my friend.
Here at Globo Gym, we understand that ugliness and fatness are genetic disorders, much like baldness.
So you're going to enjoy. I think you're going to enjoy answering this one or giving this bald prediction. So the following quarterbacks currently have more fantasy points than Baker Mayfield. Joe Flacco.
Wow.
The boy, your boy that we just talked about, Case Keenum.
Case Keenum has more points. Wow.
Captain Swag himself, Gardner Minshew.
Stud.
Derek Carr. And Marcus Mariota, which I just want to put out here. I don't have a fact checker. I don't know if it doesn't seem right, but the WAP provided me.
I provided these statistics.
This information and claims that this is true.
And I didn't drink it all, so.
That those quarterbacks currently have more fantasy points than Baker Mayfield. So which one of those guys will finish with more fantasy points than Baker Mayfield?
I'm going to go with Gardner Minshew. I mean, Mr. Swag. The guy's a superstar.
It's Captain Swag.
Captain Swag. Captain, whatever the hell you want to call him. I call him Mr., right? We have a better relationship than you do. Gardner Minshew is the real deal. This guy has got heart. This guy's got an arm. He's got composure. He's got a much better offensive line. He's got DJ Chark. I mean, come on.
But he's got the same pedophile mustache as Aaron Rodgers.
I know.
Why do we get why are we hating so much on Aaron Rodgers for his pedophile mustache?
Rodgers a dick. Minshew's a good guy, man. He smiles. Everybody likes him.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
His family talks to him. I mean, come on, Rodgers. Nobody talks to Rodgers. Nobody even wants to be around Rodgers. Rodgers is like draft day. Remember when they were about to draft the guy? They had the #1 pick and they had that quarterback, and they find out
Bo Allen or something.
Allen, whatever, yeah. And Bo something, yeah, it was good. So Bo, they find out that nobody went to his 21st birthday. The whole team, nobody went. You think that's Aaron Rodgers? Oh yeah, absolutely. Aaron Rodgers is a clown.
Jackass.
I mean, the guy is a total clown. So let me just, so the hell with him. Well, let's not talk about him anymore. Mr. Ego, they had to fire the coach, and now the new coach, he doesn't like him. He doesn't like anybody. He's an egomaniac. Yes, he's very good. We all know he's good. He's an egomaniac. He doesn't talk to anybody in his family. Come on, dude.
You're talking about Gardner Minshew?
No. Gardner Minshew. They have a statue of him in front of his family's house. Every one of the family members has a statue of him with the mustache, and nobody has a problem with it. Gardner Minshew, in all seriousness, has a chance, which is insane to think that we could even make an argument, whether you believe it or not, that Minshew has a shot to be better than Baker Mayfield, who went in like round 4 or 5. I like Minshew. He's playing he's playing, he's having fun out there. Yeah. I don't know if I could say another guy that's having as much fun as he is. He's got a great arm. The teammates love him. He's got an amazing connection with Chark. He would have had another touchdown this week if not for a weird penalty that didn't have anything to do with the play. He's got D.D. Westbrook. He's got a lot of other guys there, complimentary receivers.
James O'Shaughnessy.
Oh, O'Shaughnessy, a tight end, man, one of the best of all time.
Ask a Hennessy, Tennessee, Morrison, Shaughnessy, Reardon, and Rooney, they'll tell you the same. McNulty, Mulrooney, and Cotter, and Clooney all feel the same mixture of pride and of shame. Oh, we Irish lads are all infirm, and our moods infect us like a germ, 'cause we're all the spawn of a pickled sperm. And we don't tan well either. From a drunken Irish dad.
But anyway, Fournette with 225 yards is now going to give him a little bit more play action that he hasn't had. I like him. It's amazing that Foles is probably going to come back and be the backup. I mean, how do you put him back in?
No,
you can't. You can't put him back in. So,
Absolutely not.
yeah, that's my prediction is Minshew finishes ahead of Mayfield.
Well,
Eminem.
I think you're absolutely wrong.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
But at the same time, I don't think it's crazy. And the reason why is that I actually see a lot of Baker Mayfield last year in Gardner Minshew this year, in the sense that, right, you said he's having fun and the energy that he seems to be playing with, and he's not overthinking things. Right. They're not asking him to do a lot.
You got a great job where you don't do anything.
That's what I say.
I wish I had that.
You do. You have the easiest job on earth.
That's true.
You didn't think of that. No.
I do have a good job.
Yeah, you do nothing.
Thanks, man.
But I just got, done talking earlier about the Browns defense and how that team almost seems set up where they're not going to have to ask Baker to do a lot, because if Chubb's running the ball well, they're going to have Hunt, Chubb and Hunt. We got to talk about that at some point, because I get everybody's like, oh, Hunt, he's going to come back, but dude, how many carries do you take away from Chubb to give to Hunt? Are you just going to run the ball like 55 times a game and give them both?
Maybe you just make him the third down back and the passing back, and then spell Chubb when he needs a little breather. But I think Chubb will get 60-40 on it. I think it'll be like Freeman and Coleman. I think it'll be like that back in the day.
Freeman, yeah.
I
Freeman,
think it'll be
Coleman, I guess,
like that.
It's probably a good example of just two guys that are just gonna. I mean, it's gonna be very difficult for defenses.
Yeah, listen, they're always going to be
handle
fresh. These running backs wear down as the game goes on, but you're not going to when you have two guys that can keep going in for each other. So if they both buy into it and there's no ego and the team is first, then we'll see. I don't know how Chubb is when it comes to that. OBJ and Antonio Brown, all these guys, it's all about them. It doesn't matter.
I'm not worried about
teams
Chubb.
winning. I don't think Chubb's like that. Yeah, I don't think he's like that. But I don't know him that well. I have never sat down and had a drink with him or anything.
Did he cancel breakfast the other day on you?
Excuse me. Is it 10 a.m. yet? It's 1. That's what I have too.
Well, I know who did it is Minshew. Minshew would accept my invitation.
I believe we were talking about, of course, Gardner Minshew. No, seriously, listen. How can you not like this kid? I love Gardner Minshew. I'm in. I want to see the kid do well. I don't have him anywhere,
right?
And that's actually kind of nice. It's like I have this freedom to just watch a story like that.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
rare.
We're fantasy football players, so a lot of times fantasy can take away from some of just the cool stories or stuff that might be happening, because if some running back has a great story, all right, fine, but if he's putting up a 40 against you,
right,
you can't stand the kid.
But I'll tell you, if Minshew did that, if Minshew put up a 40 against you, you would still like him. Like, he's one of these rare people that is just so likable. It's unbelievable.
You'd be cheering him on.
Yeah.
Hit me again, Ike, and put some stank on it.
Yeah, like Jimmy G. When Jimmy G's banging porn stars, I mean, are you not like happy for him? Or you're not like, you know what? Good for you, Jimmy.
So Delaney tells us you have a special talent of some sort?
It would probably be easier if I just showed you. Great.
Floor is yours. Her name Bubbles.
30 million a year. You're in San Fran. You're living the life. You root for guys like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's all adding up. It's all making sense now. No, but all right. So again, I think you're wrong. I don't think any of those bums. I don't think any of those bums finish better than Baker, and I don't think even the great Gardner Minshew finishes
much better.
Better than Baker Mayfield.
Between you and me, my hair is thinning a bit.
Oh, Your Highness, I'm sure it's not that noticeable.
This one, it's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you right in the heart.
Oh boy!
Because it is
worse than Winston and Dalton.
Yeah, because you can brush that off.
And I can't brush off.
You don't bring that home with you.
1-3 now because that's a stupid decision. Go ahead.
I mean, if you'd like to take some time to talk about your misery
I have therapists for that.
in your own personal fantasy football leagues. But, maybe we're going to entertain the viewers a little bit on this one. Because if you're ready to answer this question about your Miami Dolphins, get ready. Your Miami Dolphins will be facing the Washington Redskins in Week 6. Now,
Week 6. Okay. They're off this week.
They're off this week. The Dolphins have a bye this week. The Redskins face the Patriots, which, again, maybe, there's a Mother Nature would have to intervene or something crazy.
An act of
that.
God. I got it, yeah.
Okay. So that would leave us with both the Redskins and the Dolphins winless going into that Week 6 matchup in Miami.
In Miami, okay.
Which I know you'll be at the game because you never miss one.
I'll be there. I'll be there in spirit.
Obviously, I think it's easy to see where this is leading. Which team leaves that game with a victory? Which team is no longer winless after Week 6, Dolphins, Redskins?
I think that Case Keenum would make it an easy decision. He would go in there and beat them, no doubt about it. I don't know who they're going to have a quarterback for the Redskins. And Josh Rosen's starting to look okay. He's starting to, he's connecting with Parker and Preston, and Drake's starting to look like presentable. I mean, I'm talking about compared to Washington Redskins here. I'm not talking about.
No. I just love the.
I'm trying to
the words that you have to use. Josh Rosen is looking
coming out of my mouth, and they both deserve to lose. So I'm going to root for a 0-0 tie. All right, so neither one of them get a win. All right, neither one of them deserve a win. So maybe it'll just be a 0-0 slugfest tie, or 10-10 tie, or 7-7 3-3. That's my prediction. No, my prediction is they're going to lose because they're the Miami Dolphins. But I'll tell you what's interesting is you said they have a bye this week, and I think that that's only fair, because they have given 4 teams a bye so far. So they should get a bye, shouldn't they? Did it?
I can save this company millions of dollars a year.
This bald man has no ideas.
This is a joke. I'm not laughing.
Some nerve telling us how to run the plant. He doesn't even have hair.
Jackson is currently the #1 QB in fantasy football. Your thoughts? Does he stay there? If not, how far does he fall?
No, I don't think he falls too far, but he's not going to stay ahead of Mahomes. Other than Mahomes, because of all his rushing numbers, I'm not coming up with another guy that I'm thinking will challenge him.
Wow.
I mean, those two are kind of in a league of their own. I mean, Lamar hasn't even thrown touchdowns lately. Just one a week, or like the last couple of weeks he's been, but he just runs.
Yeah, he still put up
runs
like a
so
30,
much.
We got bailed out last week. I mean, like we talked about the fluke play to Snead. Yeah, and that's a 50-yard touchdown.
Yeah, it was a
pass.
fluke. It was a fluke run the week before,
right.
But it was a great run when he spun into the end zone and all that. But I think he'll be the #2. I think #1 is definitely Mahomes. He's going to pull away. First game of his entire career without a touchdown. That won't ever happen again, probably, or at least for a while. So, yeah, I think that, you got Winston is starting to emerge. Goff is throwing the ball more. I think they want to run as little as... I think they should just start opening it up in L.A. You got 3 great receivers. What are you doing? You want to preserve Gurley. What's the best way to do it? Throw the ball. Let the pass set up.
Have Goff throw for 550 or whatever it was. Well, that was ridiculous.
But I mean, he doesn't get hit.
No.
I mean, so anyway, yeah, that's my prediction is Mahomes. I'm really going out on the ledge here and saying that Mahomes will be the #1.
So the Eagles go into Green Bay, get a huge win. Great game, by the way. Usually we don't expect a Thursday night great game.
The over was over by like the early third quarter. It was crazy.
What a great game. So I think we have a balding, burning question from that game as well. So rest of the way, Miles Sanders or Jordan Howard?
Jordan Howard, I mean, he's not going anywhere.
I'm not fucking leaving!
He's not going to lose the goal lines. So he's got the touchdowns. He's got some early work. I think he's safer. I think the more talented back is Miles Sanders.
Sanders look good.
And he catches the ball. PPR league, I think he's still going to challenge him for value, but I think you're just a little bit safer because the Eagles have a high-powered offense. They're going to have a lot of goal lines.
Man.
Jordan Howard could have a lot of 1-2 touchdown weeks, and he showed that he deserves the ball.
You mentioned Devontae Adams earlier. I mentioned, I think in the last podcast, that the concern with Devontae Adams was the lack of targets.
Yeah, and then he gets What was it, 10 for 180 by halftime? It was crazy.
That concern has been alleviated. Of course.
He's got turf toe
shame that
now.
he's going to miss. Yeah, he's going to miss at least one, but
probably not necessarily, but probably.
It was okay, right?
No, it's really weird.
We shouldn't have done this.
Yeah, big mistake.
Why didn't we go to a barber?
That would have been a good idea if we paid someone to do it.
Using your fucking balls trimmers instead of going to a barber.
I never wash them ever. And it's not my balls, it's my asshole. I'm joking.
You're not joking.
Pretty much.
We asked a question last week. Would you rather have Sony Michel or Josh Jacobs? I'm going to ask you a fresh question this week. Would you rather have Sony Michel or Jordan Howard the rest of the way?
I'm going to say Jordan Howard. He's more, they're running the ball better. Doesn't have that many people he's looking over his shoulder at. I mean, he's got Miles Sanders, that's it. Whereas Michel, he's got Burkhead, he's got James White, he's got the rookie that still hasn't gotten going yet.
Brandon Bolden.
You got Bolden, yeah, look at that. I mean, Brandon Bolden, man, he's not going anywhere. He plays special teams.
Look at Belichick, man.
It's crazy.
I just, you know.
He just shows you.
What was the final straw with Antonio Brown?
Yeah, we're focused on the Jets today.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
I'll put whoever I want out there, and they're going to do well. And Michel's got the injury issue with his knee. So all those factors, yes, I love New England, but their offensive line's in disarray. So I think, Jordan Howard, which I wouldn't have said that last week. But 1 week changes a lot in the NFL.
Absolutely.
First down and 5 receivers. And there's the second place position for Larry Fitzgerald. He gets a first down in the process, and only Jerry Rice has caught more passes than Larry Fitzgerald in his NFL career.
How about your boy Fitzy? Big congrats.
Yeah, big congrats to Fitzgerald. I think 1,365 or some 1,345 catches, second all time. Pay attention to the Cardinals because he's a class act, Larry Fitzgerald. He's one of the biggest class acts to ever play the game.
And why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
Amazing, amazing guy.
Love Larry.
All heart, plays hurt, trains like a monster, opened up his own training academy for other people. A real guy with the community, an amazing guy, and also catches anything that goes. He's like Chris Carter, the modern day Chris Carter. So bigger, the all-time behind Jerry Rice, and what's more fitting than that guy to wind up retiring as the number 2 all-time? You can make the argument. I mean, he's that good.
Yeah.
And without speed, he never really had speed.
Quiz, hot shot. There's a bomb on a bus. Once the bus goes 50 miles an hour, the bomb is armed. If it drops below 50, it blows up. What do you do? What do you do?
Because he's a class act. He doesn't spike the football. He doesn't do any of that nonsense. He doesn't wear stupid clothes to his press conferences.
He's dyeing his hair and
all
dancing around like a moron.
Yeah. Love him. Love you, Larry. He's the opposite of Antonio Brown. If you could say that one player is the opposite of, they're both wide receivers. They're both great. He's the absolute opposite of Antonio Brown. He's got class. He's humble. The team comes first. He would never have to get a call from Gruden like, what the hell you doing, man? He would never get cut by a team. He would never be a distraction. He's the opposite. And that's the highest compliment because Antonio Brown is garbage.
We're not just building automotive components here. We're adding horsepower to American industry.
Say one word to anyone and I will kill you. Do you understand me? It looks real.
I think another thing that we learned this week is that possibly, Dan Marino is the GOAT.
Perfect. Fuck it, send it in.
Because I don't know if it ever happened to Dan Marino, but Patrick Mahomes didn't throw a touchdown this week.
No, Marino threw a lot of touchdowns, and
I can't imagine.
I mean, there weren't many
single...
games. There weren't many games, but I think we said last week.
My internet's down, or I'd look it up right now. Yeah, I don't think Dan Marino's ever had a game where he hasn't thrown for at least 2 touchdowns. But that's just that's
as much as I love Dan the man.
That's assumption.
I'm gonna say you're going a little bit.
So what happened to your boy? What happened to your boy, Mahomes?
Mahomes went against Detroit, who. We were all saying, like, what's going on with Detroit? Why did they bring in this defensive-minded coach that's supposedly a NASA-level astrophysicist, whatever he is?
Patricia, I'm believing it.
He is literally like one of the smartest people supposedly on the planet. And
you're no match for my brains.
You're that smart.
Let me put it this way. Have you ever heard of Plato, Aristotle, Socrates?
Yes.
Morons.
Really?
No, I mean, he's really that smart.
Who are these we? Now I think it's fair that we start asking, who are these we?
The guy's like an astrophysicist from fucking MIT. The guy is the real deal. He's no joke. Belichick brought him in, and then he taught him how to apply NASA-like stuff.
Supposedly, he's like the most...
Well, I mean, you know, I'm saying, supposedly he's top 5.
Sources? Are there sources? I mean, I understand.
Hairs here? The Unabomber's still alive in prison, and he's supposedly the smartest human being on the planet. But after him and Bill Gates, maybe it's this guy. But anyway, no, you're a defensive genius, and the Lions defense stinks. What's going on? Well, this year, out of nowhere, nobody said it was coming. The Lions got a really good defense.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And they have a good offense. They said they were going to run the ball like, you know, Minnesota Vikings style. They're not. They're running it with Carry-On. He had 100 and something carries. He had 26 carries for 135 yards, something like that. And then they threw the ball, throwing it to Galladay, throwing it to Marvin Jones, throwing it to Hockenson, throwing it to Carry-On. I mean, this is a very good team. I got to tell you, the Lions are a good team, and I didn't realize or respect it until this week.
Right.
They should have won that game. It was a fluke play.
Well, they're definitely a player. They are definitely a player in the NFC. I'm not just in the NFC North. I think they're a player in the NFC. The Lions for sure. I want to quickly can we talk about something?
It depends on the subject.
Hurdling.
Oh, done with it. Over.
Okay, so last week, right, we get the laughter of the Vernon Davis going to hurdle and the guy backing up, and we all laugh it off. I'm watching Red Zone this weekend. And Logan Thomas, who I think is backup tight end on the Lions, he goes to do a hurdle. And we have kind of a similar moment thing where the guy backs off and it's just, you know. And one of the announcers says, like, I don't even understand why they're doing that. Like, why are you hurdling? It's not even allowed like in high school football. And I understand that's more for a safety thing. But the bigger reason for me, from what we've been seeing recently, is that it's just dumb.
It's really stupid.
Because the best thing that can happen is that maybe you gain a yard or two.
Right.
Because coming off of a leap like that, you're not hitting the ground
running
and then blasting on, right?
No.
So there's nothing really but the negative, of course, that can happen.
Yeah.
Is that you get hit while you're in the air and you're coming down
all that weight hard.
TJ Hockenson.
150-pound guy in midair, which he intentionally put himself in midair, and now he's coming down on his shoulder or his head or whatever.
He avoids the shoulder, which is crazy to think that, right? But exactly, putting himself on his shoulder.
It's stupid, and I don't know. I hate to say these guys are egomaniacs because they know they're going to get on a highlight reel by doing it. But why else would you do it?
No,
why else would you do it?
Right.
They always have the first down by the time they do it.
That's got to be.
You ever notice? It's like, well, if I do this, everybody's going to be talking about me tonight. So I think it's an ego thing, and I think these young punks these millennial. They want to be on TV, dyeing their hair and all the nonsense. I think it's got to stop. It really does. And the NFL maybe needs to step in.
I keep wondering why our male 22 to 33 audience
it's slipping.
keeps shrinking.
Well, Homer, this is it. Time to get back with the people. The young people. All right, yeah. Cool concert, am I right?
Yeah, nice try, Narc.
Where's the narc? Who?
That fat Jamaican guy.
What did I say?
But I'll tell you, the more we talk about millennials, the more we can get some of these older gentlemen, the baby boomers, which is what,
all right,
we need some more of them. And we had Sid's watching. Our boy Sid's in there. Come on, we need more of his friends watching. The hell with these millennials? No, just joking. We love millennials. Except for Andrew Luck.
We need that. We need that sponsorship money from Cialis.
Grandpa!
Hey, you made it. Wait a minute. Oh, God, shit.
we're going into week 5. I would imagine that like after week 6, I think we're gonna have a lot better understanding of starting to understand, looking back on some of these teams' games and schedules, and now maybe better understanding. Oh, whoa, okay, so they lost to that team.
That was a great team. Yeah.
Right.
We were looking at Detroit like how did they lose to Detroit? But now we're like, wait a minute, Detroit's winning
Or how do you only put up 10 points against the Saints? You know?
Right. Well, wait a minute, Saints got a great defense. Yeah,
so absolutely.
I think when the Eagles get back Djax and they get that vertical threat, and they have Ertz and they get Goddard healthy, Jeffrey's back now. They have Aguilar, they have Sanders and Howard. Great offensive line and a good defense. I mean, that's all the ingredients. I mean, the Eagles are like a dark horse to me. They're like a dark horse to take they can go. I mean, we saw them go right to the Super Bowl a couple years ago with Nick Foles.
The other thing that maybe we forget early in the season a lot of times is that it's a war of nutrition, and it's about who's healthy and who's playing well at the end of the year. So. But right now, these games matter for record and position to even put yourself in that place. But I would say that really what we're probably discovering as we're breaking down these conferences or divisions in each conference
is that the AFC sucks.
Well, the AFC sucks, but it's also, no, come on. You got the Patriots, you have Kansas City,
all right.
The Chargers, legit.
But look at these teams.
What about the AFC South? I mean, are you 100% convinced that no team from this AFC South could now hang with KC like in a home game?
This is the problem with the AFC, other than the Patriots and the Chiefs. We're talking about the Titans and the Jaguars. Yes, they're good teams, but they're not explosive offenses. You go to the NFC and you have so many teams in the NFC that are both sides of the ball. You got the Cowboys, you got the Eagles, you got the Saints, you got the Rams, the Packers, the Lions. It's like, holy shit, the NFC's stacked. In the AFC, you mentioned the Chargers as the third best team, and they probably are. Or maybe the Titans.
Bills are legit now,
but compare them to the NFC. It's like the NFC is so much better than the AFC. But
Browns, Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean they're good teams, but they're just I don't know. I just don't put them in the same category.
No. I mean I would say that the NFC is definitely
But if you take the best of each team. And you take the top two, now you got New England and KC. Are there two teams in the NFC in that level yet? I don't know. I'm not sure. Are the Saints maybe with healthy Breeze?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'd say the Saints,
Yeah,
with healthy Breeze.
The Rams, no, right? Yeah. Seattle, no. Maybe possibly. The Eagles, maybe the Cowboys.
Maybe the Cowboys if they with the healthy offensive line, and because I got to tell you, I mean, what Cooper's done, to start has looked really good. Gallup. Again,
you gotta get him back
really
in a couple weeks.
Shame that he got injured because
he'll be back. It was quick.
Absolutely, no, but
and when they get him back, that should help him a lot.
Absolutely. Right, cool. And then the Seahawks. You knew that they weren't going to with having Russell Wilson. They weren't going to stay down for too long. I don't know if they're quite there yet, but absolutely, the NFC is clearly more talent rich than the AFC. But I think there's potentially, some good teams coming up, out of the AFC as well. Just looking at the AFC South in general, give Houston an offensive line.
Yeah, well, where are they going to get that?
Well, I'm just saying, your boy
2 years
Luck,
they've been trying to get it.
Your boy Luck being a quitter. Yeah.
Oh God, the worst quitter of all time.
It's the AFC East. I think we already mentioned.
Yeah.
The Jets are winning that division.
Yeah, right. It'll be interesting. I'll be honest with you. It'll be interesting to see what happens to the Jets, Robbie Anderson, Crowder, and Lev Bell, and of course, Herndon, who has been suspended.
All right, he's back.
And they're getting back Darnold in about a week or two, maybe this week. So that team was supposedly going to be an up and coming team, and then all of a sudden he went out with his mono.
Well, he went out, and then Simeon, even their crappy backup went out. And they're down to Luke Falk.
Right.
They lose two out the bat.
So they get him back. And I tell you what, man, that's a team. I mean, we got some weapons on offense that people are sleeping on. People drop Crowder. It's like, dude, why'd you drop him? Darnold's out and their backup's out. Who's throwing the ball?
Right.
You got to... You like Crowder. He had like 15 catches, right?
Patriots or whatever, right? So they played one of the best defenses.
And people just overreact, dropping Robbie Anderson, dropping Crowder.
I have Anderson in the league, and I held, and I'm hoping that it pays off because absolutely that offense, anybody.
Good for you.
He plays a guy who also 35 years old, who's still living at home with his mom and dad, Kathy Bates and Terry Bradshaw, and I play demo.
No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck. So you live in California?
All right. Well,
Hey,
thank you so much
me and Robbie Anderson.
for listening to us talk about Robbie Anderson. That's when you know it's over. That's when you know that we have to end the podcast.
Yeah.
Once Robbie Anderson gets brought up, that's it. So-
It's called the Robbie Anderson Frank Gore rule.
Yeah.
If either-
Frank or Robbie.
Either one.
That's when. That's your cue.
I had a good time.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
What do I
Subscribe,
say? Yep,
share,
subscribe,
like,
share,
do all
like,
that crazy
all
stuff. You
that
guys
kind
know,
of
you know, especially you millennials. You know all about this internet thing. You know all the rules.
Good luck on your waivers.
This isn't NAM, man. There's rules.
Have a good night.
Later.
Fuck them.
Okay, well, you know.
Championship.